Very bad day today. Bad day yesterday. Always starts if the set goes bad, then the rest of the day is bad. And by set, I mean stand-up comedy. The stand-up comedy set I was doing, in case you're just tuning in to what is apparently a podcast. But that's the other thing I do too. I make fun of myself. I self-deprecate, and even that's an artifice. And I'm just trying to peel away all the things that I do that keeps me from really facing myself. I blame other people for things. I'm throwing that away. Then I blame myself. I get mad at myself and have self-destructive thoughts. But even that's a defense. Because if I do it, then no one else can beat me to it. So that's artificial. And then if I take that away, what I'm left with is nothing. I am defense mechanisms. I'm not sure who or what is beneath all that. I mean, the only things I know for sure are I love sugar products. So that feels authentic. And I'm afraid of large insects. That feels authentic. I have a strong sense of right or wrong, but that just could be Judaism. Which I consider Judaism to be another ailment. Feeling guilty today. Judaism's acting up. But if I take all that away, I don't know what I am. And is not knowing what I am yet another defense mechanism? If I take that away, then I do know who I am. And who I am is somebody always sad. Sad, unfulfilled, and feeling unloved. Something my mother told me recently was that it's more important to love the thing than to be loved by that thing. And so if I make the focus more on what I love as opposed to what loves me, then I will probably still not feel any better. And I'll be working a lot harder because I'll be having to love something instead of just waiting for something to love me. It sounds like it involves more driving. Outside my room, there's some kind of nest. I don't know what the insect is. I don't think it's a bee. But it's been there for a long time. To the point where I feel like it should start paying rent. An entire community of animals. I don't know how intelligent they are. I would assume more intelligent than we give them credit for. And I just wonder, are they aware? Can they pick up intrinsically on my emotional outlook? Is it to the point where my emotions affect what goes on in that colony of insects? If it's to the point where one of the insects says, well, he's entering a depressive phase again, so I expect a change in the weather. That's the other thing, too, that people keep saying. I have an effect on other people. Do I? I mean, when I find out that somebody who, I guess it's, if I find out who's somebody who I'm not close to passed away, I do feel sad about it. It does affect me. But then I get better. So I can't help but feel that, the world will survive without Joshua Snyder. And I've got the podcast numbers to prove it. That's the other really depressing thing, too, is that what if things get better? And then things are finally starting to do well, but then because I spent all this time feeling so bad, it affected my body negatively, and then I have a terminal disease that comes out of it. And then when things are finally starting to go well, I just end up dying of the terminal disease. So it just seems like one way or another, there's no good way out of this. It's just feeling like a really depressing choose-your-own-adventure story. Those were interesting. All of my teachers hated the choose-your-own-adventures. We could never do a book report on a choose-your-own-adventure. I think the choose-your-own-adventure form could be very useful in a lot of different other literary forms, like Sartre, choose your own adventure. Each one ends with death and meaninglessness. Waiting for Godot, that'd be a fun choose your own adventure. Just keep going back to the same conversation over and over again. I'd like that. That would be fun.